Hey guys, welcome back to Fourth Wall Reactions. Today it's time for more Doctor Who. Sorry, didn't know what that was about. I am on episode 10 of series 8. I feel like I'm just tearing through this series. Damn. And really enjoying it so far. So last episode was equal parts freaky deaky and funny, which is one of the main reasons why I love Doctor Who so much. And some really great moments from both Clara and the Doctor. It was a really fantastic episode. And it ended with a little clip of Missy observing Clara and saying that she chose well. What does that mean? So I'm hoping we're going to get into this part of the little mystery of the series as it inches towards the end. I understand that there are only 12 episodes in this series as opposed to 13. So I'm pretty close to the end. I'm excited to see where we're gonna go. Let's check it out.
I'm lost. Please can you help me?
It's that way.
Oh!
Those trees.
I need the doctor. Are you the doctor?
Yes. Do you have an appointment? You need an appointment to see the doctor.
Please. Something's chasing me.
Thank you.
We are in the middle of London.
We are in the middle of a forest.
Come and see.
But it's in London? Oh! The vegetation has gone crazy. What the hell? Forest of the night. Are you taxidermy?
Just a few things to run through before we head home. Put your phone away, Bradley. Thank you. Firstly, collect up any rubbish you may have generated through Midnight Feast or whatever.
Creepy, creepy.
Oh, Coal Hill School sleepover.
Is that a thing? It's never been a thing in any of the schools I've ever went to.
Sir, where are we?
What do you mean, where are we?
Wow. Oh, that's wild. Oh, that is a view. Holy crap.
Herd of leaves on the line. This is going to be slightly harder to clear.
In 3 hours' time, the Ghana Black Stars are due to play Sierra Leone in the African Cup of Nations.
You are always showing me amazing things. Well, I, Doctor, have finally got something amazing to show you.
Yes, well, there are some things that I've never seen. That's usually because I've chosen not to see them. Even my incredibly long life is too short for Les Miserables.
You are going to love this.
Well, when you come to collect this child, you can tell me that.
Huh? What child?
Young female human, standard defenseless little girl. Your friend, Mr. Pink, was supposed to be looking after her.
She probably has a name.
Good point. You, have you got a name at all?
Maeve. My name's Maeve.
What? Maeve? Where are you?
Trafalgar Square. I found her wandering around the brand new forest.
Brand new forest.
Yes, it's like the new forest, except even newer.
He's seen it already.
Was that the amazing thing that you were going to show me? It's amazing. But I saw it first. What did they say?
Who?
School, parents. You were just on the phone.
Oh, yeah. Right,
Oh,
school and
honey.
parents. Yes, of course. Thought that was a priority.
And?
And I
Stop
couldn't get
lying.
through. Left messages. I'll try again.
Oh, you didn't call the school, you called him.
Yes.
No, he called me, actually. I can't stop him calling me, can I?
I thought you weren't in
Stop
contact.
lying.
Where's Maeve Arden?
Oh.
She's with the doctor.
What? No. Maeve is a vulnerable kid. She's on medication. She's had an emotional trauma. Has he even been CRB checked?
He didn't abduct her. She was lost. He found her.
Thought you said they're in love. Why are they shouting at each other?
That's what people
'Cause they're
do
in
when
love.
they're in love.
Yes.
Don't know anything.
That's not true. It's a little bit true.
I'm not the priority here. The kids are.
You see, now that attitude is...
Actually, very attractive.
And correct.
We will create pathways through the trees using carefully controlled fires. This will facilitate the
Oh,
movement of
sure.
essential services. We're therefore asking you to stay in your homes.
Carefully controlled fires.
You don't need a phone to communicate, do you? I haven't phoned home, and I know my mum is worried about me.
accounts for everything. In the face of a child.
Looks like no rings. Trees usually have rings to tell you how old they are.
The rings mark the years of growth. That whole tree is the result of just one night's growth, and they're still growing.
Everyone, this is the doctor, and he's going to sort everything out. Isn't that right, Doctor? That's what he does.
Well, having looked at things, I think probably the answer to that is no.
Oh.
He says that he's really clever.
Oh, yes, I am. Very clever. But what use is clever against trees?
Don't worry. It's the thing he does. He pretends he's not interested, and then he has an idea. He's playing for time.
Time.
See?
Okay, you need to join the rest of the kids.
To the question.
What the round bits for?
Ask your teacher. Come on, down from there. Hey, away from the
Oh, the doctor with kids.
Don't touch that. Haven't any of you been struck by the fact that look, it's bigger on the inside?
There wasn't a forest, then there was a forest. Nothing surprised us.
These trees all appeared at once.
Where's
Something-
Maeve?
Maeve Harden.
Yeah, where'd she go?
Maeve. Maeve.
Can't even remember what she looks like.
Maeve.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Maeve's gone. Maeve's lost in the forest. Maeve's gonna die. Ruby.
That's enough, Doctor.
We gotta find her.
Yes, I know that we have to find her. Her sister went missing last year. She's on medication. The child is barely functioning. She hears voices. She's very vulnerable.
What do the voices say?
What?
And she takes tablets and they stop.
You people, you never learn. If a child is speaking, listen to it.
Oh, like you listen to her.
He's right. She was trying to tell me something and I ignored her. Maeve Arden is tuned to a different channel. She can lead us to the source, to the heart of the forest. We have to listen to her. We have to find her.
Not everything can be fixed with a screwdriver. It's not a magic wand.
Does she have a phone?
Well, yeah, she does.
Have you got the number?
Yeah.
Maeve Arden, 500 yards southeast of here. I'll go get her.
I'll do it.
Oh, I can go. You can.
You haven't seen him for months.
Something like that.
You didn't even say hello, you just sprung straight into action. Special unit.
This is so cool.
Hey, do not touch anything. Anything. Okay?
Oh, Clara. Why is she lying so much? So crazy.
Chris, you're gonna be alright.
They're in the TARDIS, the safest place on the planet.
Oh. Don't get out of the
You're
TARDIS.
just gonna stand here and let her die? Who? Mix. You let her go off with some randomer into the forest. You're supposed to be madly in love with her.
Oh, yeah. Who said that?
Everyone?
She's probably dead now anyway. Crushed by Nelson.
What if the trees collapse on her?
Ruby, you're letting your imagination run away with you.
I'm not going,
And-
am I? Because I haven't got an imagination. You can ask Miss Oswald.
Okay then, come on team, let's do this.
He's gonna be asking Miss Oswald a lot of stuff. Oh, good God.
Left it as a clue so we would know where she was going. Trail of breadcrumbs, Hansel and Gretel.
I'm actually frightened. I never get frightened. Why am I frightened?
The forest. It's in all the stories that kept you awake at night. The forest is mankind's nightmare.
Quite like them. Take this over the ocean any day. Okay, but if you just sit still, perhaps. The hell? Hi? What are you doing here? Who are you? How much junk does she have? Okay, but
We're burning here, stay back.
We're looking for
Oh,
an
the-
bell.
Stay back.
carefully controlled fires. It's gonna piss off the tree. I've seen the two towers. How is that controlled?
What's going on? Trees not responding to flamethrower. I mean, they don't catch fire, they just don't catch.
Ooh!
They're flames or something.
Trees control the oxygen on this planet. They withhold it, they smother the fire. What sort of forest is clever? What sort of forest has its own inbuilt fire extinguisher?
The forest is holding its
Natural
breath.
order is turning against
God.
this planet. This is a massive solar flare headed for Earth. She knew how.
This is
is Maze. Where did you get this?
You left your marking on the TARDIS.
Oh, great, right. Well, that's just brilliant, isn't it? You don't think Danny saw this, do you?
I've just informed you that a solar flare is going to wipe out your planet. You're worried about a row with your boyfriend. How does she know this? She even put the date on it.
I always make them date their homework.
It's today's date.
Okay, you know they're not really gifted and talented, don't you? I just tell them that to make them feel good.
She's lost someone. People have lost someone. They're always listening. They're always looking. They're always hoping. So they notice more. They hear more.
Was that a howl?
Yes.
Was that a wolf?
Yes.
That is impossible. We're in London.
Would that be the London with the zoo? The zoo with a pack of wolves? The zoo whose barriers and gates have probably been mangled by the trees? No. Wolves are not impossible.
Oh God, and she's in a red coat like Little Red Riding Hood. Oh. There's a Maeve. Oh, a whole pack.
Doctor, give me a boot so I can pull her over. Maeve?
Maeve, you came looking for me. You didn't, Maeve, you didn't just stumble into the TARDIS. Tell me what you know.
Doctor.
This is important.
Yes, can we please deal with the wolves first?
These are zoo wolves. They're not even used to hunting.
Doctor!
Oh, right, okay. All right. We just got to look as if we're too much bother to eat. Right, so stay still, stay together, look big. Told you they were rubbish. Those wolves are terrifying.
Oh my God. Tiger. Oh. Oh, kitty. Big teeth.
Very good, solid scientific reasons for being really quite frightening, just not.
All right, Danny. Well done.
Mr. Pink. Why, thank you very much.
No problem. Just decided it was best not to leave you alone with him. We've worked well together. Noticeable increase in confidence levels and energy.
What's this?
Done.
What's this, Maeve? What is it, Maeve? What
Yeah.
is this? What is this?
Apart from being almost savaged by a tiger and abducted by a Scotsman, she's allowed any nervous ticks she likes, okay?
This is not a nervous tick. This is react.
Please, she's been in the States since her sister went missing.
No.
Maeve.
Come back. Stay.
Maeve!
Won't find your sister out there.
Oh, you know what? You know what? There's webs. There's webs there. Nope.
What is it, Max? The forks. They go so fast.
This is stressing me now. When I get stressed, I forget my anger management.
Shut up.
You see something that we can't see.
If I can create a little local increase.
No, you are not experimenting on...
Ooh. Butterflies.
They're lovely.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Who sent you for the doctor?
It was just a thought. It was just a thought that came. I think it came from Miss. They've gone.
Stars implode, planets grow cold. Catastrophe is the metabolism of the universe. I can fight monsters, I can't fight physics.
Why would trees want to kill us? We love trees.
You've been chopping them down for furniture for centuries. If that's love, no wonder they're calling down fire from the heavens.
But we saw the future. Lots of futures.
Yeah.
Earth's futures.
What's up?
To be erased.
But something must have happened differently. What?
If you can't save them all, save what you can. TARDIS. It's a lifeboat, isn't it? Not everybody has to die.
You're just accepting this is gonna happen?
This is my world too. I walk your earth.
Save the next one.
It feels weird that they're just accepting the inevitable of this.
Hey,
No goodbye? It's not goodbye. What you gonna do?
Flimbo Forest. I am Dr. Idiot.
What?
It's there on the screen, look. Big solar flare. It's brewing up a solar wind big enough to blow this whole planet away.
Quite a lecture.
I assumed your teachers have mentioned this?
I thought it would spoil an otherwise enjoyable walk.
The good news is it's happened before. And you're still here. Whenever there's a planet-threatening extraterrestrial impact, trees, massive forest, filling the atmosphere with oxygen, you will be all right. I was wrong. The trees are not your enemy. They're your shield.
The government is sending out defoliating teams. They're dropping chemicals on them right now.
Yeah. Maybe
What
don't.
is it with you people? You hear voices, you want to shut them up. The trees come to save you. You want to chop them down.
Or you think you need to save the world when it's already saving itself?
I did admit that I was wrong.
Yes, he did. Very unusual.
We are going to call everyone on Earth and tell them to leave the trees alone.
Woo. Quite a large phone bill. Mom!
Essential services have been disrupted due to an unexpected forest.
It's my child doing Calling the World.
There's my mum.
She'd rather have her mom.
So, trip to space, anyone?
I want my mum. I slightly want my mum too.
Tell them, Mr. Pink, what an educational opportunity.
You go. This is enough for me.
What?
I was a soldier. I put myself at risk. And now I can see what I nearly lost, and it's enough. I don't want to see more things. I want to see the things that are in front of me more clearly. There are wonders here, Dr. Oswald.
Bradley saying please, that's a wonder.
It's more amazing.
What person is that then?
I told you. I said so, didn't I?
I'm talking to Courtney.
We can have a picnic.
You were on the TARDIS last Friday. Today, you thought the world was going to end. You still didn't tell me the
No,
truth.
I tried. He
I
interrupted.
just want to know the truth. I don't care what it is. I just want to know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saved you from a tiger today. I deserve at least that.
Yes.
MVP.
I hope I'm right. Slightly awkward if the world was this strong.
Oops. Ooh.
Harvesting the solar fire.
Wow. What's your deal?
Now that was surprising. I love surprises.
Okay.
How will they explain this tomorrow?
You'll all forget it ever happened.
We are not going to forget an overnight forest.
You forgot the last time. You remembered the fear, and you put it into fairy stories.
Oh.
The human superpower, forgetting. Remembered how things felt.
True. Okay, but why?
I knew you'd be here. The thought of you came to me.
Oh, okay. Alright guys, that was episode 10 of series 8, Doctor Who. It probably was not my favorite episode of this series, but it did have a lot of elements that I enjoyed. I liked the allusions to fairy tales. When you had Maeve, who had her little red coat, being in the forest, the wolves, leaving breadcrumbs for Hansel and Gretel. It's just sort of a general theme of connections with fairy tales, but not being literally, it wasn't a literal fairy tale. So just some hints and shout outs and little Easter eggs. I like that. I mean, and the doctor is not wrong when he says, oh, well, you know, the forests in your lexicon of fairy tale are generally not good. Kids getting lost in them and, you know, dark creatures being in them and stuff. I personally, you know how Doctor Who has hit on so many of my phobias. Forests and trees are not one of them. Partially grew up in a heavily wooded area, so I feel at home with a forest. I don't find them intimidating or creepy, and I was really glad that they turned out to be something beneficial. And it is a very sort of eco-positive episode. The trees will save you, literally. That shot of Earth being just covered in green was actually quite cool. I love the Doctor's interaction with the children. I find it a very unique dynamic because he's not... It's different than when he's, you know, sort of shooting a barb at Clara, you know, with the kids. He's not holding back, but yet he's not, like, actively... He's just being himself, and it's pretty funny. And I really like how he got into the role of teacher, which I think he enjoys. No matter who he's being played by, I think the Doctor really delights in seeing companions and people he encounters on his various travels, seeing them realize things and learn things and experience things. I think he really likes that. To me, it seems like. So it's kind of a natural role for him. But I mean, like, he had a captive audience, and I really like that vibe that he had. Claire is a teacher. Mr. Pink is a teacher. No, the Doctor is officially a teacher of their classroom. It's kind of, yeah, I like that. I think that the relationship, the dynamic between Claire and the Doctor is getting more, it's smoothing out a little. I like that she was so excited to share something with him, like something that she felt, ooh, he's never seen this before. And I'm the first one to point it out. No, he's seen it. They had a few verbal mini battles happening, but for the most part, they're really comfortable with each other. Although Clara, this lying thing is I don't know that it's getting out of hand, but it is becoming a thing. And the Doctor has called her on it. Danny has called her on it. I really like Danny in this episode because he basically said, I don't mind that you're with him, just tell me. I'm not sure how much that is actually true, but he said it. Verbalize it. I like that we heard that he was far more upset about why she felt the need to lie to him about all this stuff than the fact that she was with the Doctor. I mean, maybe that aspect of it bothered him a little, but I think the lying definitely was more so. There's some very revealing things about Danny's character in this one. I was a little surprised at what he said about this opportunity to see a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon where he's like, yeah, I've been a soldier, I put myself at risk, I don't want to see more things. I want to look at the things, the little things closer to him more clearly. I really love that sentiment, and yet I don't know. I would think regardless of who you are, you would be excited to see this. I understand the kids need to go and be with their parents. I'm not surprised at that. I was a little surprised Danny just does not seem interested in this at all. And I still do wonder about his soldierness and the fact, I mean, it's a very small connection, but earlier on in the series, the soldier blue, and here we have Soldier Pink. I still wonder about that, though it has not been brought up again at all, so maybe I should let that go. But yeah, Danny had some really nice moments in this one. I also really liked that dialogue coming back about the Doctor walking on your earth and breathing your air. It's not like they've forgotten about that massive fight, but you know, they've dealt with it and they're moving past it. I like that callback. That was cool. Some of the episode I wish had been developed a little more. Like I said, I enjoyed that the trees were not the problem. They were there to help the problem. They were on the side of good and protecting Earth. And in theory, I agree with what the Doctor said about, like, why humankind would not actually remember this, why we would not remember an entire planet of trees all of a sudden growing overnight, basically, to protect us from a natural phenomenon, is that we suppress things and we forget about things, because if we remembered things, if we remembered how bad war is, we wouldn't do it anymore. That's certainly part of our genetic makeup, is to take traumatic things and sort of, like, with time, it lessens and our brains protect us from traumatic things. But, I mean, the trees being there turned out to not be traumatic, so I don't know. Question mark on that one. I actually thought that the trees were going to turn out to be, maybe somewhat entish, to get into a Tolkien thing. But just be sentient or be aliens that were tree-like. But as far as I could see, they were just regular trees behaving in a very abnormal, extra special way that we don't normally see, or that we apparently just scrub from our memories, our pudding brain memories. And then as far as the little lights go, the little beings that they've been there for forever, I don't know if those were meant to be, like fairies, the legends of fairies and forests and these, ancient spirits being there for forever, having, connections with children in fairy tales. If we're going for the fairy tale aspect, I wish that had been more defined. I mean, that's just my takeaway, is this whole, like, fairy, fae kind of, creatures, beings, which in many countries' lore are connected with children, the disappearances of children. Now, with Maeve, I think they've done a really good job with the children that Clara and Mr. Pink are teaching. I really liked all the kids. They're behaving like children. Ruby was hilarious. Maeve, to me, not Maeve herself, but Maeve as the receptor of these creatures' communications and the whole deal with her sister. I wish that they had developed the sister's story a little bit more. I mean, there was a lot going on, so I can see why they didn't have time. I felt like the sister's story was just basically thrown in there to explain why this one child was the receptor of all this information and why they were communicating with her. Certainly Maeve is not unique amongst humankind in that she's not the only one who's lost someone. Whether Annabelle went missing, which is what they said, they weren't clear on whether she ran away, whether she was abducted. The whole thing at the end of it being just this big thing with the music and, oh, she's back and she looks perfect, like she's not been through anything, raised a question for me. I guess I don't know. I felt like I was supposed to be super invested in that, when throughout the episode it had just been a thing that explained what was going on with Maeve. I don't know. That whole part of it did not really click with me. Unless they developed the fairy part of it, in which case was Annabelle taken into the realm of fairy, and that's why she was so safe and happy looking. I don't know. I just feel like if this girl was abducted or ran away or missing for, a year, it would just not be so light and happy. I don't know. Is that just me? There was just something off to me about it. I kind of wish they had ended on the whole Missy thing, because was Missy only observing all this, or did she have a hand in it? Because early on, I was wondering when Maeve said, well, Miss Oswald told me to find the doctor, but it wasn't her. Maybe that was the little light creatures in her head. Yeah, I don't know to what extent Missy was involved or just watching what was happening. I also found it interesting that when they were in the museum, that they had these taxidermy wolves and the taxidermy tiger, and then later there were real wolves and a real tiger. My first instinct was that something was happening that had brought those creatures to life, but then the doctor said something about, the London Zoo and barriers being broken, which that makes more sense. So maybe these shots of the wolves and the tiger were just, sort of like a visual foreshadowing of what was to come. I mean, it was an interesting episode. I come away from this with questions and wishing that more things have been developed, but I also like a whole lot of things about it. So I'm going to let this one sit. Who knows? Maybe some 2020 hindsight will change how I see it. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching this one with me. If you enjoyed the reactions, please feel free to give it a like, a share, and a subscribe. Full reactions are on Patreon, and be sure to join me for the next episode. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.